Okay, we have moved on to the next section of our multiplication unit. So the first thing that I asked you to do is to try this problem about Jenny's cartoon bugs. And it says she draws 6 bugs and each bug has 8 legs, or 10 legs. Sorry, 10 legs. So there's a few ways you could have done it. You could have drew the 6 bugs and the 10 legs. Just like this, making sure each bug has 10 legs. And if I kept drawing the legs, that would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. You could have also, sorry, my little baby nephew's right here listening to his show. Okay, so you also could have drew 6 groups like this with 10 in each group and counted the legs that way. And you would have still got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. You might have just repeated addition on this one and added the 10 legs of the 6 bugs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 tens would be 60. So whether you skip counted, you did repeating addition, or you drew a picture, any way you did it, you should have got 6 legs. Okay, let's go ahead and turn that page over and look at the next page. So our next page is page 106. So 106 says, explain how you found the number of legs Jenny drew for 6 bugs. So you just need to explain that. You could say I did repeated addition, I drew a picture. I'm going to write I drew a picture and checked it with repeated addition. And so you're going to write on your number 1 whatever you did to figure it out, okay? Then on number 2, it says you can solve multiplication problems in different ways. One way is to skip count, which is what I did when I counted by tens, was skip counting. Since we know how to count by tens, then that's a quick way to do it. So here's another picture. Instead of 6 bugs, maybe Jenny drew 8 bugs. So down here on number 8, we're going to write what she would get if she drew 8 bugs. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and let's put commas in between those so we know where the numbers separate. 60, 70, 80. So 8 groups of 10 would be 80 on this one. Okay, let's go on. On the bottom of that page, on B, it says, write a multiplication fact to find the number of legs. Well, if we have 8 bugs now, and they each have 10 legs, that would be 8 groups of 10. And since we got 80 when we counted up, our answer would be 80. Number 3 says, suppose you have 8 bugs with 8 legs. What other method could you use? Because in that case, I would have 8 groups of 8. So it wouldn't really work to do skip counting because it's really hard to skip count by 8. But maybe we could do repeated addition. Right? That might be a way to do it. So if we add 8 times, then we'd probably have to combine and do, say, this is 16, this is 16, this is 16, and this is 16, and then maybe even combine again and say 16 plus 16 is 32. So now I have 2 groups of 32. And if I add that together, that's 64. So repeated addition takes a little longer than skip counting, but it's really hard to skip count by 8. So that really wouldn't be a good way to do it. Okay, let's go ahead and go to page 107. If I'm going too fast for you, go ahead and hit pause and write down everything I wrote on 106. When you're ready, turn to 107 and push play. Okay, here we go for 107. On page 107, it talks about multiplication facts. Multiplication facts are answers to multiplication problems that you just know. So the easiest facts to remember are the ones that we already know how to skip count by. And so those are easy because we already can skip count in our head to those. So a fact is an answer. Oh, let me get my pen working. It's an answer to a multiplication problem. So one fact that we can remember pretty easy is 2 times 2. Because if we have 2 groups of 2, 2 times 2 would be 4. Another fact that's really easy to remember is if we had 3 groups of 5. Because we could count by 15 or by 3 5s really quickly. 5, 10, 15. So those are a couple examples of some multiplication problems that are easy. A non-example would be if we did like an addition problem or if we did a subtraction problem. Those would not be examples of multiplication facts because they're not a multiplication problem. Okay, so go ahead and hit pause and finish writing this in your book. Okay, so in your instructions, I have do page 107 and 108 on your own. I want you to do number 2 on page 107. On page 108, do number 3. Number 4 is just to show your work. So if you actually showed your work when you were doing number 3, then you're done. Good luck with lesson 5, session 1.